Aloha Yellow 6. We are going to be working on 1.4 Personal Narrative, Incident Response and Reflection. Let me present, make it a larger screen so you can see it. You're going to need to refer to your assignment page 16 on your Springboard writing assignments. Once you turn to slide 16, you will see 1.4 Personal Narrative, Incident Response Reflection. It says personal narratives usually include three parts. Number 1, a well-told significant incident. Number 2, the writer's detailed response to the incident. And 3, a thoughtful reflection on the meaning of the incident. Directions. Use the following graphic organizer to take notes on the key parts of my superpowers. I'll read it to you and you'll be able to read it again on your own. Now please refer to elements of a personal narrative to help you complete this graphic organizer. So let's take a look at the elements of a personal narrative. You click on this and this will pop up. First, the setting. When you take notes on the setting, it's the time and place where the story takes place. For the incident, it is the central piece of action that is the focus of the narrative, what happened. Response, the immediate emotional and physical actions associated with the incident. And reflection, a description that explores the significance of the incident. What was learned and how do you change or grow? So, we are going to be reading My Superpowers. Okay, and as I read My Superpowers by Dan Greenberg, I want you to think of these 4 areas: the setting, the incident, the response, and reflection. And it says, check your understanding, type out your answers after the 2 columns in the yellow highlight feature. So for number 5, from what point of view is this narrative told? So after you click on this column, you will be able to type your response. Write a sentence from the text to show which point of view is used. And you'll click on this and write your response. Okay, let me go back. So sorry. Okay, get back to number 16. Hang on. Okay. So, with that said, I think this might be easier. Just make it larger. Okay. It says for number 6, you're going to find 2 examples of sensory language from this narrative. Complete this table. So you're going to tell what paragraph you see the sensory language and what is the language you see and what sense are you using, whether it's sight, smell, touch, taste, and so forth. Okay, you should give 2 examples. Then on number 7, in paragraph 4, it talks about Dan Greenberg choosing to use the word terrorize. So write the denotation and connotation of terrorize. So remember, denotation is the literal meaning, like the definition, and connotation is the positive or negative emotion that goes with that word. Okay? So here is where you're going to click on to get the story, My Superpower. Okay, so My Superpower by Dan Greenberg. Do you ever wish you had superpowers? When I was a kid, growing up on the north side of Chicago and being picked on by bullies, I prayed for superpowers. Like Superman, I wanted to be able to fly faster than speeding bullets, to be more powerful than locomotives, to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Mainly, I wanted to punch bullies in the stomach so hard that my fists came out of their backs. Winters in Chicago are so cold that frost forms leafy patterns on your bedroom window and stays there for months. The wind howls off Lake Michigan, and a thick shell of pitted black ice covers the streets and sidewalks from December to April. To keep warm in the winter, I wore a heavy wool coat, a wool muffler, wool mittens, and furry earmuffs, and one of my most treasured possessions, a Chicago Cubs baseball cap autographed by a player named Big Bill Nicholson. On the coldest days of winter, 3 bullies waited for me after school just for the fun of terrorizing me. The biggest one was a fat, ugly kid named Vernon Montufo. Vernon and his 2 buddies would pull off my Cubs cap and tease me with it. They'd pretend to give it back, then toss it around in a game of keep-away. One day in February, when the temperature was so low, I felt my eyeballs cracking. Vernon and his friends caught up with me on my way home. As usual, they tore off my Cubs cap, and started playing catch with it. What made it worse than usual was that on this particular day, I happened to be walking home with a pretty girl named Ann Cone, who lived across the street from me. Ann Cone had green eyes and shiny black hair, and I had a goofy crush on her. As if it wasn't bad enough that these guys humiliated me when I was alone, now they were doing it in front of Ann Cone. I was so embarrassed I began to cry. Crying in front of Ann Cone made me even more embarrassed. I was speechless with shame and anger, driven by rage. I did what only an insane person would do. I attacked Vernon Montufo. I punched him in the chest and grabbed back my Cubs cap. Vernon saw that I had become a madman. People don't know what to do with madmen. Vernon looked shocked and even a little afraid. He backed away from me. I attacked the second boy, who also backed away from me. Encouraged by their backing away, I ran after them, screaming, punching, flailing at them with both fists. I chased them for 2 blocks before they finally pulled ahead and disappeared. Breathing hard, tears streaming down my face, I felt I had regained my honor, at least temporarily. That weekend, perhaps made braver by my triumph over the 3 bullies, I kissed Ann Cone on her sofa. I can't tell you exactly why I did that. Maybe because it was a cold, cloudy Saturday and there was nothing else to do. Maybe because we both wondered what it would feel like. In any case, I could now brag that at age 8, I had personally kissed an actual girl who wasn't related to me. I never did get those superpowers, not as a kid at least. When I grew up, I became a writer. I discovered a particular pleasure in going on risky adventures. I wrote about my real-life adventures for national magazines. I spent 4 months writing with New York firefighters and running into burning buildings with them. I spent 6 months writing with New York homicide cops as they chased and captured drug dealers and murderers. I flew upside down on a Pacific Ocean with a stunt pilot in an open cockpit airplane. I took part in dangerous voodoo ceremonies in Haiti. I spent time on a tiger ranch in Texas and learned to tame 200-pound tigers by yelling, "No!" and smacking them hard on the nose. I found that tigers were not much different from the bullies of my childhood in Chicago. I also wrote fiction. I created entire worlds and filled them with people I wanted to put in there. I made these people do and say whatever it pleased me to have them do and say. In the worlds I made up, I was all powerful. I had superpowers. I began writing a series of children's book called The Zack Files about a boy named Zack who keeps stumbling into the supernatural. In many of these books, I gave Zack temporary powers to read minds, to travel outside his body, to travel back into the past, to triumph over ghosts and monsters. I created another series called Maximum Boy, about a boy named Max who accidentally touches radioactive rocks that just came back from outer space and who suddenly develops superpowers. Maximum Boy is me as a kid in Chicago, but with superpowers. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. In the Zack Files, I created a fat, stupid kid who sweats a lot and thinks he's cool, but who everyone laughs at behind his back. And you know what I named this fool? Vernon Matufo. I do hope Darrell Vernon knows. Okay, so this is your reading, My Superpower. And you can always go back and refer to this as you answer. Okay, what is the setting? Okay, so go back and forth to the reading handout and take a look. Where did this take place? Okay. Then, what is the incident? What is the response and reflection? So remember, setting is the time and place where the story takes place. The incident is the central piece of action that is the focus of the narrative and what happened. And then the response is the immediate emotional and physical action associated with the incident. And the reflection, give the description that explores the significance of the incident, like what was learned and how do you change or grow. So you will refer to this article that we just read on My Superpowers when you answer these 4 areas. Okay, and please provide as much details as possible, okay, to show your understanding of the setting, the incident, the response, and reflection. And when you are done, go ahead and answer number 5. And remember, you're going to type after the yellow colon. And when it asks us what point of view is this narrative told, you're going to write down, is it first person, second person, or third person? And write a sentence from the text to show which point of view is used. So remember what we learned about point of view and the words that they use that are associated with it. Like if it is a first person point of view and you look back at your notes, first person would use the words such as I, my, mine. And if it was second point of view, it would use words like you. And if it's third person point of view, it would be he, she, they, her, his, and so forth. All right? So you will answer 5, those 2 questions after here, and then give me examples of the sensory language. Go back and tell the paragraph number. And you can see the paragraph number. It's all labeled here. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4. Okay, so it's labeled right there. And last but not least, looking at the word terrorize, write the denotation of it, which is the literal definition of terrorize, and then give me the connotation, the positive or negative, okay, how that word is used, terrorize. Okay, and that is your assignment for today, 1.4 on slide number 16. Okay, enjoy. Aloha. Oh, and if you have any questions, go and see your teachers at office hours. No hila hila, no shame, just go. Okay, good luck. Bye.